if you work with an NFL football team or like a Big Ten like college team, you would in sense be like cooking their food for them because you're in charge of like everything that they put in their body. But what I do in more of an outpatient setting.
From the heart of Long Island, New York, we are inside the GP studio where we wake up today, we go today. This is the Primal Mindset. We are empowering the midlife man, and we are powered by Go Primal Lifestyle. As you can see, I got my GP Patriot shirt on. Always big supporters of all armed forces, first responders. So head to Go Primal USA. Use code GPNation. Start wearing the mindset so you can be the best for the ones that need you the most. I am your host, Chris Fontana. You can follow my journey on Instagram, Chris Fontana GP. Alongside Jenna, my producer, we are available on YouTube and Spotify. So please hit that subscribe button. Get that notifications. Help support our mission of inspiring men every day. And we are also brought to you by Momentous Supplements. These supplements are awesome supplements that I use every day as a midlife man. To be honest with you, the Tonkat Ali and the Fedoja, amazing stuff. Good for testosterone, for energy, all the good stuff for the midlife man. They have sleep packages they send me, all this magnesium, just really great stuff for any recovery and sleep and all that. So yeah, like I said, I use them. Just go to livemomentous.com. Use code GoPrimal15. You get 15% off the entire website. We got a great show today. We have another registered dietitian coming on, a sports performance and wellness registered dietitian. So I'm really excited to have her on today. But before that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hi, Joel Maurer, founder of Dink Ninjas. Dink Ninjas was dreamed up and started right here in Austin, Texas, a dynamic pickleball community. We arm pickleballers with the paddles, apparel, and accessories to dink like a ninja. Dink Ninjas is dedicated to supporting mental health awareness and cancer research. Shop our full lineup at dinkninjas.com and enter code NGBNTV for 10% off site-wide.
All right, we are back inside the GP studio. We wake up today, we go today, and we are going to bring on our guest, and that is Lindsay Fencl. Come on, Lindsay. Hey, how are you?
I am doing good. Hello.
Thank you very much for coming on. Definitely excited. I love anything about nutrition. I really love, me personally is a big part of my journey, my backstory, my brand, mindset, lifestyle. I mean, nutrition plays a huge part of it, as you know. So I definitely wanted you to come on the show and help my audience, the midlife man, just really get all the knowledge that they need because, like I said, as you know, nutrition plays a huge part of it. So thank you very much for coming on.
Absolutely.
What got you started into nutrition?
So, I personally had a lot of gut issues. And so my own journey with all of that had made me just struggle a lot with Western medicine and trying to figure out like what's going good and what's not going good. And so I had to dive into a lot of the research and figure out like alternative options because I felt like my options weren't super great. Like they'd give me a colonoscopy or a medication. And I'm like, oh, that's great, but I would like to figure out how I can take this into my own hands. And so that's in sense what made me like really fall in love with how nutrition and food can really impact your body in so many ways.
And what at what point was this when you were having issues? Was it high school? Was it before college?
Yeah, it was when I was in college. So when I was a freshman in college, I have a lot of schooling. I'm 28. I have 2 separate degrees. So my first degree was exercise sports science. And when I was a
Nice.
freshman there, I got really into nutrition and I also like developed an eating disorder. And that's like a whole other story. I had that for like 5 years. So a combination between like my eating disorder and my gut health, as a lot of gut health stems from your mental health because your vagus nerve connects the two. And so when I was going through a lot of the eating disorder stuff and the mental health stuff, my gut really got messed up. And so my freshman year of college, around 2015, is really when that started. And through all of my undergrad, I kind of obviously I was exercise sports science and I was a nutrition minor, so it was always part of my schooling. I actually was in doctor of physical therapy school for a year. I was pre-physical therapy, so I was very into exercise. And then I ended up leaving that and pursuing being registered dietitian because exercise and nutrition is so much part of my life, but I just felt like I was in the wrong avenue to get there.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it sounds like I mean I don't. It's up to you if you want to dive into the eating disorder. I was just curious, like what because
Oh,
you know
I'm
the show
fine.
is
If that's like,
yeah okay. I wasn't sure. I
that's
mean, what
fine with me.
because the show, you know,
So
we do focus on mindset as well and coming overcoming adversity. So I mean, I'm sure there's definitely people would want to know about that, like what caused it, what you know, what how'd you get over that, what pushed you past it.
yeah, so absolutely. I'm completely fine talking about it. I think it's as a dietitian, I actually see early signs of it, and I get so sad on the inside because I can tell when someone's going to develop one, but it's such a hard situation. So I, in sense, was just like uncomfortable with my body. And I look back now, obviously, I was like, you were so small. But,
Yeah.
anyways, I was uncomfortable with my body. And so I tried to lose weight. I actually am around 170 pounds now. I'm 5'9". And so I was down to 135. So I was super, super skinny. And I actually, it took me a couple years to get there. So I would say I started out with orthorexia. There's different types
Mm-hmm.
of eating disorders. Orthorexia is those who are very particular with details. Like they're counting every single macro, every single calorie. I was to the point where I was like counting if I eat like 4 almonds. I'm like, I got to put this into my Fitness Pal. If I was like,
Yeah.
if I was eating like 2 carrots, it was like obsessive.
Yeah.
So I ended up developing that, and I was eating under 1,500 calories a day while also like over exercising. Like I would warm up with a 5K, and then I'd go into like an hour of strength training and hit workouts like every single day. And
Yeah.
I was eating maximum 1,500 calories, which is like super low.
Yeah, that's not
So
that much.
correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that went on, and then I eventually got really sick of eating so little. So then I would binge 'cause I'm like, I'm so hungry.
Hmm.
And so I would binge, and then I would feel really deep remorse and guilt about that because I'm going to get fat, right? So then I went into the binge restrict cycle for a couple years. And then, and this developed when I had a lot of gut issues. Like I got really, really constipated. And so when you're eating a lot of food and you're binging and you just like can't poop it out, you get really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I, so I started using laxatives as a way to get it out of my body. So then that's technically, so that's like that was going into like bulimia because bulimia is
Hmm.
any sort of diet where you overconsume and then you try and get rid of it, whether it's
Hmm.
exercising too much or puking or giving yourself
Right. Right.
diarrhea. So then
Yeah.
I got into that. um,
Nice.
no, it's been like a whole thing. You wanted
Yeah.
to know. So then I had bulimia, and then I would say the longest time I from there just struggled with anorexia because I was just like I went back to just not wanting to eat a lot. And I struggled like with binging back and forth over and over again. It was a solid like 5 years that
Wow.
I got through it. I went through therapy, and I would say until maybe like a year ago, and I'm 28, and I developed it when I was probably 2015, when I was 19 years old. I would say not until about a year ago, I've been fully recovered because I will still say, like, in stressful times in my life, I will relapse. And
Hmm.
last year I had a lot of like trauma in my life. And
Yeah.
so I definitely like that was my body's coping mechanism. So last year I relapsed a couple times, but um I haven't had it like for long term for a while.
And what is that? What does a relapse entail of? Is it just like doing the same thing of
So
like taking something to throw up or shit or whatever that
great
you?
question. Yeah, so for me, the relapse was I was trying to not eat. So I was afraid to get fat. And so
Mm,
like I remember super specifically like there was like I would just start restricting. I just start restricting because in sense an eating disorder is like your body's way of trying to control your situation because of things happening outside of your control. So that's just like your body's protective mechanism. And so there was things happening, couldn't control it. And so I just started restricting my food. My brain just like went into that. So for me, it was not eating. I remember like it was dinner and I'm like, I had this like banana and peanut butter in my hand. I'm like, you haven't really eaten today. You logically as a dietitian, I'm aware like you need to be eating this food. But then I had like my second voice, like my rational voice and then my eating disorder voice being like, no, you're gonna get
yeah.
fat, you're gonna get fat. And I'm like, again, as a dietitian, I'm like, this is not logical, Lindsay. So I'm very lucky in the sense of my background and my knowledge of being a dietitian. I can talk myself rationally out of those things. But not everyone can do that. So a
Right.
relapse could potentially just like put them back into any of the things that they did previously.
Wow. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm 6 years sober with alcohol, so when you say relapse, it's interesting to get a different like perspective of the different addictions, because addiction could be anything. To hear people
Yeah.
talk about gambling and stuff like that, and obviously a relapse is betting, but yeah, it's just interesting to see the different relapses and what they entail.
And what's interesting too is like the therapy or like the healing side of it because generally speaking with so I've also when I was in my dietetic internship, I was in a mental health and eating disorder clinic. So when
Mm,
working with those with addiction, whether it's gambling, alcohol, drugs, whatever, generally you just take that thing away. They have to like try and like dissociate from that thing. Food,
right.
you can't just like not eat
Right.
food.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a
That's
really
tough.
hard thing to
I never
to
even
kind
thought
of
of that.
work
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. That's tough. Well, I mean, hey, you made it. I'm sure we can have a whole another show on that. But I
Yes.
want to kind of dive more into the nutrition part of it, and because I know you worked with athletes and of I believe all ages and up to professional athletes as well, right?
Yeah, so in my current job, I work at a clinic. So I work with the Green Bay Blizzard like professional indoor football team. I
Okay.
also work with a USHL junior hockey team, the Green Bay Gamblers. In addition to that, I also just work with like different high schools around the area. And then also like active adults. So I work with middle school. I don't go below middle school. Middle school in
Yeah.
sense up to just like older adults. So just generally active, trying to be overall healthier, weight loss, up to like I've had an late athlete who was training to do skating in the Olympics. So very
Mm.
different avenues.
So is it just basically do you develop nutrition plans for them? You do you actually you don't cook the food or anything for them, right? You just give them basically what to eat.
Good question. So in different settings, so like if you work with an NFL football team or like a Big Ten like college team,
Mm.
you would in sense be like cooking their food for them because you're in charge of like everything that they put in their body. But what I do in more of an outpatient setting is I will help them figure out how they can realistically make small changes into their current eating and lifestyle habits to help improve their performance. So whether it's figuring out how they can sneak in more water, trying to have like a
Mm.
pre-workout snack after school before they go to their game or their practice. Um, how can we get in more protein to help your muscles recover so you're not as sore? Um, I am very behavior based, and so I'm sure there are some dietitians that are like, I'm going to give you an exact meal plan. I don't find that specifically super helpful because, like, what if the person doesn't like those foods? What if they financially can't afford those foods? What if they
Mm.
don't know how to cook those foods? So, I like to do very behavior based things. So, asking them, what do you eat on a daily basis? Kind of breaking that down. Okay, looks like you're low in vegetables, looks like you're pretty low in fiber and protein. Let's
Mm.
figure out how we can sneak some of these things into your diet.
Do you switch it up as far as like depending on the sport. I mean, I would think football players got to eat a little bit more. If you have a sport where they're cutting weight and stuff like that, is there? Do you work with any athletes that cut weight?
Yeah, so my wrestlers are a population that are cutting weight a lot. That's
Mm.
a challenge consistently, I think, because coaches maybe have like an old mindset of like when I was in school, high school, I had friends who would cut like 8 pounds in like a day and just like, just sweat constantly and wear like garbage bags and not eat food. But
Yeah.
we know that that's not obviously like helpful. And so it's trying to educate them on a sustainable weight loss approach while still maintaining their muscle mass. Because what people don't realize is if you're losing weight, weight can be fat or muscle. It
Almost,
can't be
yeah.
your organs or your bones, but it can be fat.
Right.
Yeah, fat or muscle. So if you're losing weight too quickly and you're not eating enough protein and strength training to maintain that muscle mass, you're likely losing some of your muscle, which if you're a wrestler or just any person in sports, that's going to decrease your performance and also going to increase your risk of injury. So that's when you get people who like sprain their ankle, it just doesn't heal. Like it's a non-healing injury
Right.
because they're in like a calorie deficit. When your body's at such a high performing level, it can't be in a deficit. So for
Mm.
like wrestling, it's very much how can we prepare you to get to the right weight class before season starts? Because once season starts, we got to make sure that you're fueling yourself appropriately to like do the best you can in season at your matches.
Mm. Yeah, that's. I mean, even with the everyday man, you got to keep your muscle, especially you get midway. I'm gonna turn 45, so like I'm always focused on getting my protein in and
Hmm.
resistance training because you once you start losing muscle, man, I see some people walking around and I'm like, God damn, man, they do not look good, and
Honestly, around the age like 35 to 40, you pretty much are starting to decrease like testosterone and stuff, because as you age, that's naturally what happens. But people don't realize it until they get like 50 or something, right? At that point, they're
right.
seeing visual changes. They're like,
Mm.
oh, I'm losing my muscle. I'm getting weaker. I'm throwing up my back more often, or my hip keeps getting injured. But that starts degrading at like age 35 to 40. So I know you talk about like middle-aged man health. Like it's a super pivotal time in their life to start doing the preventative work now. So as you age healthfully and you have longevity into your older years.
Would you say the most important thing for a midlife man is to concentrate on protein?
Protein's super important. Yeah, I would say a good range is about zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 times your body weight in pounds.
Right.
Um, you can do kilograms too, but in America we do pounds. It's a lot easier.
Yeah,
So that's a
yeah.
good place to start. And then also people don't realize how important fiber is. Like men are really high risk for prostate cancer. And
Mm.
so like fiber and like heart disease and all of those things. So like fiber is really important for those things. So if I could give a tip, try and reach 35 grams of fiber a day and try and reach your protein count,
35.
whatever that may be for your body size.
Right. Yeah. At 35. Yeah, that seems pretty low. I thought it would have been higher than that. I think I definitely hit that. Um.
That's good.
Um.
That you would
Yeah.
be surprised how many people don't even get like above like 10.
Yeah.
So I get above that because I eat healthy too, but so many people don't even get near that.
Yeah. A lot of people have trouble with fiber too. I mean, I shouldn't say I easily. You know what it is? I have these wraps that I think only have five net carbs, 5 grams net carbs or whatever. So there's a lot of fiber in them. I don't know if that's how accurate that is because I think it's like I want to say like 25 grams of fiber in the one wrap that I eat every morning. Which from Mission, I love those wraps. So I'm gonna give a quick plug to them, even though I'm not
Mhm.
sponsored at all by them, but they are the low carb control. I think Mission
Oh,
wraps, and they're pretty decent size. Only 110 calories. They're about 70, or it says 71 grams. Sometimes I weigh them out; they're a little bit above, but for the most part, they're 110 between 112 calories. I usually get with my my 4 eggs and my throw some cheese in there too to get some extra protein. And they
mhm.
actually, I think I want to say 9 or 10 grams of protein in it as well. But actually, that's what
That's
I want
awesome
to.
for a wrap.
Yeah, I love those wraps. By the way, I've been eating those for years. So, like I said, Mission the low carb wraps. I think whole wheat low carb wraps they are. But is there a difference between like that protein and the protein obviously you get in meat or any protein powder and stuff like that, or is there other forms of protein that would be good? Because most people can't eat that much meat. Me, I can. I can eat meat all day, but I get
Yeah.
people who aren't really meat eaters. Or is there other ways to get good protein in?
Absolutely. Yeah. So all protein will help work towards your total goal. I always recommend a variety of different things. So like meat and so like cottage cheese. I know it's a craze right now, but like it's been underrated for so many years. So I'm finally happy cottage cheese is getting the credit it deserves. Like a half a
Yeah,
cup is like 15 grams of protein. It's absolutely
yeah,
insane. Greek yogurt is really good. So
yeah.
those
I'm
are
big
dairy
on that one.
products. So if you consume
The
dairy,
Fagi, however the fuck you say it. I like that one. The
yeah.
Greek yogurt is real good. The
Um,
non-fat one is good. You can load it up and because
mhm.
I focus on protein and calories. That's pretty much the only things I really look at. I'm pretty lucky where nothing really affects my gut at all. I always say I'm like a dog, man. I can eat anything, so like I don't really have to worry
That's
about
good.
anything else. So I just really worry about calories and proteins because me, I think at the end of the day, calories in, calories out. Obviously, depending what those calories are, is going to help how you feel, how you're able to perform, how you're able to work out, or even me as a midlife man with my kids. I got young kids that started late, so I got to be able to have
Yeah.
energy and run around with them, work multiple jobs, doing a show, building a brand. So I got to make sure I got energy. So I know food is definitely important, and calories is good, healthy calories. Just not eating shit food and just hitting my calorie mark.
Yeah, people really undereat quite a bit. Like it's
Mm,
actually the most common thing is people under especially if you're a regular exerciser. Like if you consistently like strength train and you're like moving around, you really underestimate a lot of times like how much your muscle your needs to recover, like
mm,
that window afterwards, like the 24-hour window after strength training. Um, And so people a lot of times it's very helpful to like figure out how much actually should you be eating, like protein and calories, because a lot of times everyone thinks of like the weight loss mindset. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're always thinking about like how low can you get, then it's always like thinking of like taking things away and then you don't have energy like you said, and then you don't have energy to go
right.
work out and stuff. So I don't know, I like to help people like figure out how they can like reach those things because quite a bit they're under eating. And if you're in a steep calorie deficit for too long, your metabolism actually just like down regulates
Right.
to
Yeah, it slows
adjust
down, right?
to
Because
that.
your body's like going
Yeah.
on survival mode because you're like, oh, this guy's
Yep.
not giving me enough calories. Let's slow it down so we can survive. And then, I mean, that's
Yep.
that yo-yo diet where people blow up because they do it and I lost a lot of weight, and then all of a sudden they go from 1,500 to 3,000 calories a day, and the body's like, oh shit. What is
Yep.
this? All right, we got a bunch of food coming in. Let's store it for fat. We need to survive. Or it's
Hmm.
like that survival thing.
So a really good
It,
amount to like reverse diet if anyone like is eating a calorie deficit, around like 200 to 300 calories maybe every couple weeks, just to slowly increase
right.
that without like gaining too much extra fat. That's a really healthy amount to slowly increase your calories, to in sense gain the muscle back and gain weight, but not in sense have it like be in the unwanted areas.
Yeah, it's kind of I like it. I enjoy it. I pretty much track my food every day. And I like figuring that out. I like figuring out like first of all like what deficit I'm at to lose a pound a week or whatever it is or half a pound with the 500 deficit. I actually it took me a while to figure out what my maintenance level is, which I think is like probably I would say around between 3,000 and 3,200. I would say is pretty much like my maintenance. Um, but it's
And
tough because
that's a lot, but like that's like
yeah,
another thing is people think
it
of like 2,000 calories. Like you'd be way underneath two. Like yours is
yeah,
so much higher than that.
it's
Yeah.
it's a lot or a little depending what you're eating. Like when I pretty much prepare all my food, for the whole week for the morning. I pretty much prepare for the whole day. I'm eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner all from my house from me cooking it. So when you actually weigh everything out and you look at it and you're like, I find it hard. I'm like, I got to reach 3,200 to I got to find more shit to eat, because it's, but 3,200 fast food is nothing. You can eat that in a sitting and be like, oh, that didn't really
Yeah.
satisfy me, and so it's, like I said, it's
Yeah,
a lot or
because
a
it's
little
not as
depending on what
not
you
as
do.
filling.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
yeah,
If
I
you
like figuring all that
like,
shit out. It's fun.
if you're a person who like realizes they need more calories, one of my big tips for athletes, like football players, like dude, they sometimes need like 4,000 calories a day. And
Yeah.
obviously you get full. Like you can only eat so much like protein and fiber before your body's just like, I'm full.
Yeah.
Smoothies are a really great way to kind of like pack in a lot of nutrition. You can put like fruits, vegetables, chia seeds, protein powder, peanut butter, like all those things in there. And because it's blended up, it's not as filling. So that's always like a really good nutrient dense way to give yourself some healthy fats and health and like avocados and like healthy proteins and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Avocado, I love. Peanut butter, I definitely love. I always have to be careful with that. I got to weigh that out because, you can
I
go
know.
overboard with that one. You can eat
You can.
2,000
Yes.
calories in a sitting with that. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm always careful with that one. What are some good food? Like I said, I don't know how accurate that wrap is with the fiber, but what are other foods that you can get some good fiber and I mean, mostly vegetables and stuff like that.
Yeah, so berries, raspberries and blueberries have so much. A cup of raspberries, it's like got like 6 or 8 grams of just raspberries, so that's a really good
Mm,
one. Leafy greens like spinach, and like arugula and kale, things like that. Also legumes, beans, so your chickpeas,
mm-hmm.
black beans, things like that. Like even if you're making something simple as making like burrito bowls or tacos, like putting a can of black beans in with your taco meat, like is a really good way to just like amp up a little bit of fiber.
Mm,
Um, Otherwise, like the whole grains, so like wheat has a lot of fiber in it, oats, rice. Um, I really like getting from seeds. So like chia seeds, ground flax meal, sunflower seeds, papita slash pumpkin seeds, things like that. A lot of your plants have fiber in them, but those are quite a bit of like the heavy hitters and cruciferous vegetables like
mm.
Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and cauliflower.
Yeah. Yeah, I like broccoli. I love cauliflower too. I like making cauliflower mashed. You heat it up and blend it up, make kind of like almost like mashed potatoes.
Hmm.
It's good. Well, how do you feel about
Hmm.
the like the AC1 greens, the powdered greens? Is that good to do, or it's better to get with whole foods, or is that considered whole food?
So I would say trying to like eat it in whole foods is optimal because like I will say that some people, if that's their only source of fruits and vegetables, that's kind of, like that's not great. But I mean, is it better than nothing? 100%. I have like when I work with kids who are like picky
Yeah.
eaters and they just like won't eat a vegetable, I'm like, okay, can we at least like have them like mix some greens powder or something in with like a smoothie or something like that? So it's better than nothing, absolutely. And it's actually, in my opinion, better than like a
Mm,
multivitamin because it's from whole foods and it's ground up. But I would still like
okay.
people to always try and like get the fruits and vegetables. It gets to be hard when you're trying to reach your protein goal to eat enough vegetables because you're full.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will say, like for me, I love my smoothies because I that's how I can throw a lot of those things in there. Otherwise, I just wouldn't be eating them. So in summary, yes, they're very helpful, significantly better than not having any. My opinion, better than multivitamins because those are like made in the they're just like made in a lab.
Mm,
Um, but Whole Foods, I think, is a good option.
yeah. Yeah.
Number one.
Is there a certain supplement company that you like that you eat?
I used to try different ones, like um, I don't want to. I don't want to like Momentous. I think is a really good one. I like
Mm-hmm.
Promix. Promix is a really good one. I honestly like to go to Costco and get Orgain because Orgain
Okay. Yeah.
has a plant based protein powder, which is super affordable, but it's vegan and it actually has 50 superfoods added to it. And so it's kind of like having your greens powder mixed in with your protein powder.
Nice. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then just and
I
then just
know. I
buying
know which
one
one.
instead of two.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I used to take BPN a lot. I thought that was a good one with that guy Nick Bear. I don't know if you've ever taken BPN at all. He had one with it was like the greens and the reds or whatever. So it was like superfood, like all fruit and then all leafy greens. And I used to mix them in the mornings. It was good. It was good energy. I liked them. And then
Yeah.
I kind of moved on and ended up and stay with Momentous and use their supplements now.
Yeah. I work
But
with
yeah,
a sports performance clinic that uses Momentous a lot. There are so many honestly good brands. I think at the end of the day, the biggest thing is looking at the ingredients and researching if they're reputable, which Momentous is, and making sure it's NSF certified. So if you're an athlete of some sort, that's really important because that means it goes through third party testing, so you know like what's actually in the supplement is in the supplement.
right.
They're not lying about it. So that's really important, and Momentous is third party tested. So
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely
sorry, I'm
like
not trying to
them.
like amp up your supplements. I just
No,
know
no,
about them.
it's all. I mean, they're huge. A lot of people use them, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a big time company, and a lot of athletes use it. So, but yeah, we're just gonna take a quick break, and we will be back and finish up with Lindsay.
In a world where settling is not an option, where confidence reigns supreme, there's a brand that embodies the spirit of empowerment and refusal to compromise. Introducing Go Primal, where every thread exudes strength and determination. Elevate your experience. Shop now and unleash your inner champion. Because when you wear GP, you're not just dressing for success, you're embodying it. Go Primal, where confidence meets courage. Refuse to settle. Shop now and conquer your world.
Focus. Focus up. Hey, man, zoom in. Welcome. My name is Chris Rubio of the Rubio Method. Soak it in. Wear it as a nice sweatshirt, a nice yellow sweatshirt. See if it fits. And it may be something you say, okay, I'm listening to you, but I don't really like it. Not for me. What the hell are you thinking? You have no idea what you're talking about. You have issues because of your bad taste.
All right, we are back inside the GP studio. We were up today. We go today talking to Lindsay Fencl, right? Right. I knew I was gonna mess up that
Pencil,
name.
yes.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, talking nutrition. Yeah. So now I kind of want to delve into the all these intermittent fasting people because I've messed around with it. I've done it for a long time, but I'm always curious to get some like professional opinions on it. So what's your take on intermittent fasting?
Yeah, so there's a lot of research supporting fasting being good for the body, because in America we are constantly eating, and so that's constantly having an influx of glucose into your body, so your insulin is constantly being released. So fasting in general is really good. The research shows that minimally 12 hours is what's recommended. So but you can go like up to like 14 or 16 if you want. You don't necessarily have to, but minimally 12 hours. So like not eating after you eat dinner and then just breaking your fast the next day with breakfast.
Right.
That's really helpful. That's what I recommend for most people is at least 12 hours. That being said, some people like 16 hours and that's perfectly fine if that's what they like. I tried intermittent fasting when I was in college.
Yeah.
Could not. Could not. I tried for like 4 months. I'm not
College
kidding.
is a tough one to do. Like I've done it just because not obviously not in college, but I've done it and when you're busy, it's a lot easier to do. I mean, I've done 36 hour, I've done like maybe some like 42 hours maybe. But like it has to be on a day where I know I'm going to stay busy. And believe it or not, I actually have a lot of energy
Yeah.
too with when I do that, and you're not thinking about food, you're not worrying about it. But I think on an everyday, I mean, obviously I don't do that all the time. It would be kind of maybe once a week or a couple times a month. But the 16-hour one, I definitely can pretty much I can do daily pretty easily. But I saw studies where like once the body kind of gets used to it, you lose some of the effects of it. Is that true, or is that just like some shit that you always hear that people are trying to just shit on it?
I don't think your body like I think your body just actually gets used to it. So like you probably will just not be hungry in the
Right.
morning. So like some people just naturally aren't hungry for breakfast and so they just intermittent fast accidentally because they don't eat until like 10 or 11 or something or lunch.
Mm.
So your body, no, nothing bad happens if you like do it. I mean, I will say it is help me. I wouldn't recommend doing like a super long fast. Like some people are going like 20 hours every day. Like, okay, that gets to
Mm.
be a lot because your body needs food and you need to still be hitting your protein goals. You still need to be getting enough fiber. You still need to be getting
Right.
enough
Right.
calories. So if you're only eating within like a tiny little window, you're never going to be able to reach that goal. So that's also another thing is it realistic for you in your eating patterns? You know what I mean? Like, can you still reach all of your goals while limiting your eating to an 8 hour window or whatever it is for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it, and honestly, it's like this with everything. With people talk about different workouts, this and that. I mean, I think whatever you can keep doing, whatever's sustainable to you, and whatever's working for you, then I think that's the best diet and the best workout is the one that you can stick to. So I think like what you were saying,
Absolutely.
between like that 12 and 16 hour, I think like when I do that on a daily basis, that's when I feel like my best. That's when I feel good. Usually like depending if I working at night, it's easy not to eat at night, even though I work in a restaurant. Believe it or not, I have pretty good self control with that. So I pretty much, like I said, I make all my food in the morning, and I just tell myself this is the only thing you're eating is what you prepared. Like I know how many calories I'm at my mark, and that's it. So like I'm not going to eat anything else. Sundays are a different story. I'm from New York, so I got to eat my pizza. But yeah, like during the week, like if I eat like between 4 and 5 o'clock, and then I don't eat again until the next day with like not like around 9:30 for breakfast, dude, I feel great. Like it's just like I love
See, I
doing
would be
that. And
starving.
no, I mean, I guess
I would
I
be
get
so
used to it.
hungry.
So, but I'm moving around at night, and by the time I get home, it's late, so I know like I'm not gonna eat anything. Because there are times where I
Yeah.
like, I'll be like, "Fuck, man, I'm hungry," so I end up eating something, um, and it's like that quick satisfaction. Because I mean, I love to eat, and then immediately feel like, I'm gonna feel that in the morning. I'm gonna feel like shit, and sure enough, I wake up,
Yeah.
and it's not even like I feel shit like physically; it's more mentally. Because kind of like what you were
Because
saying
you're not in your
before,
routine.
yeah, it breaks me off my routine. It breaks me off of in my mind doing the right thing, trying to be the best for the ones that need me the most, and it automatically like puts me back to that 300-pound depressed alcoholic that I hated. You know what I mean? Like it's something in my mind that like obviously it's not putting me back there, but that's what knocks me like right back on track, because I know where I've been and I know where I don't want to go and I know what's going to keep me there if I keep doing it. And it's, eating late at night all the time, then you start gaining weight, then you start getting depressed, and you start getting anxious, and for me, I can't have that because that might lead me down the road of, you know what, man, I just need a drink now. I just need to fucking take the edge off. I need to just do it, and then, like I said, I can't do that. So, that's what keeps me from, going down that path of eating late and gaining weight. So like I know what I need to do. So I mean, obviously not everyone is like that, and not everyone can do that, and that's kind of why I do what I do with my brand and my show is to help inspire men to, refuse to settle in life, man, and you and just show them that I'm an everyday guy. If I can do it, you can do it. So I know we kind of got off topic a little bit, but yeah. So that kind of you know, that training of the mind for me is pretty easy for me to have that last meal at 5 o'clock and not worry about until the rest of the night, and just makes me even look forward to more of my big breakfast wrap with the whole wheat wraps that I was talking about. So
Yes.
yeah, so that
But
always
it sounds
helps
like
me.
you have a really big it sounds like you have a a really good why. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people need to figure out like a really strong, deep why. Not, I mean, I get it all the time. I want to lose weight. Why? Oh, I
Yeah.
just want to lose weight. Okay, but like you said, it's you want to be healthy for your kids. You want to
Mm-hmm.
prevent yourself from going back to a time where you felt physically, mentally like just not well. So figuring out also like what is your why, diving deep into that, and then keeping that in the forefront of your brain. Like that's what's going to keep you on your routine,
Yeah.
help you preventing you from falling off track, or say you do have off track time, getting you back right on, like getting you back in your routine, your exercise, your eating, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, man, you need that powerful why. You need that why that you're gonna take and run through a fucking brick wall with. And that, and I think why has changed throughout the years, obviously, because back when I started this, I didn't have any kids, I wasn't married. It was just my powerful why was looking in the mirror and absolutely hating who I was looking at. Then that to this day was probably my most powerful why. Now my kids, my family is I say it's the best why I've ever had. But that most powerful why was back then when I was just sick and tired of absolutely hating myself and feeling that, looking in the mirror and feeling that, looking at that person and being like, man, I fucking hate you, and actually feeling that is a very powerful thing. And that's what got me started. Amongst other things too, of sick of having severe anxiety attacks and thinking I'm going to die every day, and was being overweight, and the doctor said I'm going to put you on blood pressure medication, and I was like, nope, that's it. I'm going to the gym. That was it. That was the final straw. And yeah, so like you said, man, you need that powerful why. It can't just be like, I want to lose weight for the summer. I want to lose weight because I have a wedding coming up. I want to lose weight because of this, whatever. That shit never works. You gotta lose weight because you want to be healthy. You want to look good. You want to feel good, and that's gonna be your lifestyle. I do want to give you a chance to kind of just give like where people can reach out to you if they want to message you on anything, or if they hit you up on Instagram. You want to give a little rundown of where people can find you.
Yeah, so I'm pretty active on Instagram. My name is Lindsay.Fencl RD. So my name with an RD at the end. I'm on LinkedIn too. So if you want to just find me, it's just Lindsay Fencl on there.
Well, thank you definitely much for coming on. I would love to have you on again to kind of go into more of the nutrition and pre and post workout for recovery for men. I think that's an important topic. So, yeah, definitely would like to have you come on. But yeah, thanks again for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Have a nice night.
All right, you too. Talk to you soon. All right, that was Lindsay Fencl. She's a great dietitian, got great knowledge. So hit her up if you have any questions. And we'll be right back with Long Island Matters.
Hey, this is Chris Rubio, host of The Rubio Method and Decades. I just finished a workout. I'm all hot and sweaty, and it reminded me, let me tell them about Chris Fontana's gear, Go Primal USA. It's a mindset, it's apparel, it's everything. You need to check it out if you have the Go Primal mindset. GoPrimalUSA.com and use the code Rubio10, that's Rubio10, for a discount on all gear.
Drinks are fun, but alcohol isn't. Meet ProofNoMore.com, the #1 marketplace for the best non-alcoholic craft beverages. We offer the largest selection of non-alcoholic beers, NA wines, zero-proof spirits, and mocktails. So if you're in the mood for a rewarding brew or a cocktail without the booze, give Proof No More a try. Live more, proof less, at ProofNoMore.com.
Everybody going through it. Everybody going through it. Everybody. But we still gotta pursue it. Gotta do it. Cause we all going through it. Everybody going through it. Everybody going through it. Everybody going through it.
All right, we are inside the GP studio with the segment Long Island Matters, brought to you by Go Primal Lifestyle. Head to GoPrimalUSA.com. Start wearing the mindset to be the best for the ones that need you the most. You saw that video. Love Long Island. Love being here. That video was done by my friend Chris Brennan. He does videos like that with his drone, and he can actually make some really great pictures with the photos that he gets or the videos that he gets. He also has the swigware, which these tumblers right here, as you can see on my desk. He can pretty much customize them, put anything you want on them. You can follow him on Instagram is at swigware. And also at Dr. Brennan MD, I believe, is his Instagram handle where he's got all those videos. So hit him up if you'd like to get some nice shots Long Island. Also, Proof No More, as you saw the commercial, sponsors of the show. Me being 6 years sober, as you saw, I was kind of hitting a Corona non-alcoholic. You can get those on their website. Largest selection of non-alcoholic beers, wines, spirits, pretty much anything you can think of. They're out in Brooklyn. You hit up the website, proofnomore.com. Use code GoPrimal. You get a nice discount. So if you're like me and just want a nice cold beer with no alcohol, definitely hit them up. At Sweet House Ideas, another great friend of the show, does these silk floral arrangements. Look amazing. They never die. They got these chocolate covered strawberries, these donuts that are amazing, all these desserts. Father's Day is coming up, so definitely hit up Angie at Sweet House Ideas. Oh man, I love those donuts. At Sweet House Ideas on Instagram. So like I said, hit Angie up and she'll definitely hook you up. We got another business that we're going to feature today on Long Island Matters. A local guy does power washing. His name's Chase, so let's bring him on. He's going to talk about.
What's going on, Chris? How are you?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm glad you were able to finally get on here.
Yeah, we finally caught up.
Yeah, man. How was today? It was good weather, man. You out there working?
Honestly, great weather.
Yeah.
Finished up around 7:30 tonight. Just took a cold plunge and a cold shower and hopped right on here.
Oh, nice, man. That's what I like to hear, man. It's I like power washing, man. I like doing it. I know it's a little different when just doing it at my house than having a business. But what got you started into the power washing?
Honestly, I've been doing it for about 3 years now, and it's just something that I enjoy cleaning, and then it turned into more than a hobby, and then I just started pursuing it, and I realized that I can do it and make a lot of money and make people happy.
Nice, man. It's definitely satisfying, man. I love doing it. Yeah.
And it's a great, thing to do, and I could also want to figure out ways to help the community and do things like that with it.
Nice, man. Yeah, are you from Long Island?
Yeah. Born and raised here, raised in Levittown, but I live in Farmingdale now. And
okay, cool.
Long Island is just the best place ever. We all know it.
Yeah, man. I'm right there with you, man. I was pretty much here my whole life. I grew up in West Islip, bounced around different towns, Massapequa, Lindenhurst, Plainview, West Babylon. But now I actually bought a house. Now we're here in Deer Park, not too far from you in Farmingdale.
Oh, that's great.
So I've been doing a lot of power washing. When you move into a house, man, you gotta take care of it. And but I love it, man. My kids love it. They come out, they help me with it. So it's definitely a lot of fun. Where could people reach you if they wanna hire you?
Ward Power Wash Co. Or they can also find me on Instagram at Chase P Ward. And then my phone number is on there as well. I'm on Facebook, TikTok. We're on every social media platform basically at this point.
Nice, man. You work 7 days or you have that 1 day off?
7 days a week. Right now is the busiest time of year and we all know it.
Yeah.
And it's just nonstop.
Nice, man. Yeah, you do great work. I've seen you on Instagram, so if I ever get sick of it, I'm definitely gonna hit you up to help me out and to clean up the house a little bit. But I appreciate you coming on, and like you, I love Long Island, so I'm always trying to feature the local businesses, help them out. And anytime you want to come back on, if you're running any special features, events, or whatever you want to come out and talk about, just let me know, man. Hop back on.
Will do. I'd love that.
All right, man. Awesome. I'll talk to you soon.
Have a great night.
All right, you too, man. All right, that was Chase Ward, power washer guy, man. He actually does really great work. That was great, man, to have different businesses come on, man. I'm glad that he likes Long Island just as much as I do. Also want to talk about Long Island Prep, another sponsor of the show. We just did a live event. He had a great Mental Health Matters. We were supposed to do a show, but unfortunately we weren't able to. But he just had a great event. Paul Vecchione, founder of Long Island Prep, really helping out local schools here on Long Island, across the country, really, just with dealing with mental health and addiction issues throughout the school. So if you're a teacher, parent, kids, whoever needs some help, reach out to Paul Vecchione at longislandprep.org. So yeah, another sponsor of the show. All right, so yeah, man, I just want to say thank you for, the guest coming on. Lindsay gave some great knowledge on nutrition. Chase, a new guy coming on for Long Island Matters. Jenna for making this show great. Rin behind the camera making me look great. All my sponsors, I want to say thank you. Going to end the show a little bit different. I wanted to talk about this when I was going to do my live show last week, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But I just had to bring up this horrible story, this tragic story, this 10-year-old in Indiana, Sammy Touche, and if I'm not saying his name correctly, I apologize, took his own life from being bullied. And at 10 years old, man, I couldn't imagine what he was going through to think that was the only way he can make it stop. Parents, fellas, in particular, man, we need to do better. We need to talk to our kids more, and whenever I take my kid to school, I drop them off and I say, man, be nice with everyone, but you always make sure people are nice with you. And that's the thing where it's you got to make sure that your kids are being nice with everyone, and you got to make sure that everyone's being nice with them, and you got to talk to them, and you got to find out what's going on. And unfortunately for this kid, man, that it's, his parents made, I believe at least 20 complaints to the school, and, everyone wants to put themselves in that position as a parent, but, man, I'm sure they tried to do what they could, and, shame on that school in Indiana for not doing the right thing. 20 complaints of this kid getting his glasses broken and made fun of, and some incidents in the bathroom a week before he took his life that, the mom still doesn't know what happened. But, it's just, like I said, fellas, we got to make sure our kids are doing all right. We got to make sure they're doing the right thing. We got to talk to them and make sure that they're feeling okay, because as a 10-year-old, man, that should just never, ever happen. That should never be the last resort for a 10-year-old to fucking think that I got to end my life because I can't handle this. And every parent, I know their heart was probably breaking when they saw that story. So I just wanted to kind of bring that up and at least, give this kid's name the proper send off, and just let him know that we were thinking about him, and, sorry this had to happen to him, and just rest in peace, buddy.